I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. It's going to take you straight to our classic logo tee, our Pride logo tee, all of our different special event t-shirts, and look for our brand new t-shirt design that's available in the store right now. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck, all still available in the online store. From socks to throw pillows to wall art to even bed sets. You can outfit your entire home or your entire body with Renegades of Puck merchandise, and we sure would appreciate if you would do that. Stick taps, love, and respect. Each and every one of you has picked up one of the new t-shirts in the last couple of days. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation, so listen up, Renegades. Here's how you can help support the show. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we are also on TikTok as far as social media platforms go. You can find us on YouTube. Give us a subscription and turn on those notifications, please. Thank you so much to each of you who has subscribed recently, helping us get those numbers up. Our Milwaukee Admirals coverage and our Calder Cup playoff coverage has done great as far as Renegades of Puck TV. And we are so happy and thankful for that. Don't forget, you can also check out the audio podcast on numerous platforms. And thanks to the Full Press NHL and Full Press coverage, we are being heard by more Renegades than ever and being platformed on more different locations than ever before, reaching significant milestones seemingly every couple of weeks. We are so incredibly proud. You can find us on Stitcher, Spotify, Google, and there are plenty of other platforms where you can find the Renegades of Puck. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today. Venmo, that's how you can support the show or make a financial donation. Just scan the QR code that's currently on the screen or search Renegades of Puck right now in Venmo, and you'll find us and you can make a donation. Every dollar goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck, and thanks to generous Renegades just like you watching and listening right now, you can see and hear and feel the differences that we have been able to make as far as upgrades throughout the last season. We're going to work on the computer and the networking and some more efficiencies behind the scenes to help make the show a little bit better and help us create our content a little bit more smoothly and a little bit faster even, so we can get these shows out even quicker as soon as the games are over. So more quick reaction shows coming in the near future thanks to generous donations from Renegades just like you right there. Again, just scan the QR code that's currently on your screen or search Renegades of Puck in Venmo. Now listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 760. That's right. It is time for show number 760. And at this moment in hockey history, the Milwaukee Admirals currently find themselves tied at 1 apiece in the Central Division Final Best-of-5 playoff series. After Game 1, the Milwaukee Admirals held a 1-0 lead after securing a 2-1 victory on home ice over the Texas Stars. Game 2 recently concluded. It was the Texas Stars getting the split in Milwaukee, evening up the series at 1 apiece with a 5-3 victory. We'll recap everything about Game 2 coming up, including play-by-play in the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We'll have full stats analysis, breakdown, and of course Brian Baston from the Renegades Puck will be in the trenches. But let me get you caught up on a couple of other things from around the rest of the tournament brackets for the Calder Cup playoffs, and then we'll get you set up for Game 3, and then we'll go back and look at Game 2 and everything that happened, and all of the analysis that we need to get to. Now, each series has completed 2 games in the Calder Cup playoffs. Over on the other side of the bracket, it is Hershey currently leading Hartford 2-0, a 3-2 victory in Game 1, followed that up with a 4-2 victory in Game 2. In the other part of that bracket, it is Rochester with a 2-0 lead over Toronto. So the hockey heartbreak continues in Toronto, regardless of what level you are at. A 4-3 victory for Rochester in Game 1, and backstopped by Malcolm Subban picking up the 7-4 victory in Game 2, so Rochester leads 2-0 over Toronto in that series. Of course, Milwaukee and Texas are tied at 1 apiece. The Admirals took Game 1 2-1, and it was the Texas Stars taking Game 2 5-3. And in the Calgary and Coachella Valley series, tied at 1 apiece as well. Game 1 went to Coachella Valley 6-3. Game 2 went to Calgary 3-2. And Coachella Valley, if you have not been following along what's been going on with them throughout the Calder Cup playoffs, absolutely incredible. We'll mention them a couple couple more times before the end of this segment right here. Let's get you the schedule, though, for the games moving forward. On Monday night, we will see Game 3. Calgary will be in Coachella Valley, looking to take a 2-1 lead in that series. On Wednesday, the rest of the tournament resumes. As a matter of fact, all 4 of the series will be on the ice on Wednesday night. Game 3 between Toronto and Rochester in Rochester. Game 3, Hershey at Hartford. Game 3, Milwaukee at Texas. And Game 4, Calgary will be at Coachella Valley. That could be an elimination game right there for one of those 2 teams. Now, before we move on and focus exclusively on the Milwaukee Admirals and the Texas Stars, let's talk about the leading scorers at this point in the Calder Cup playoffs. And you're going to hear Coachella Valley quite a bit in this list. Lind for Coachella Valley leads the entire Calder Cup playoffs in points, 7 goals, 8 assists for 15 points. And then McCormick, also from Coachella Valley, 6 goals and 7 assists for 13 points. Fritz from Hartford, 1 goal, 9 assists for 10 points. And then Evans from Coachella Valley, 1 and 9 for 10. And Hughes, also from Coachella Valley, 10 assists for 10 total points. So 4 of the top 5 scorers in total for the Calder Cup playoffs are all from Coachella Valley. And if you flip over the goaltending stats, their goaltender is also leading or right near the top in every statistical category. Now, Evangelista, Gross, they are leading the Milwaukee Admirals in scoring, tied with 8 points. They are tied for 12th overall in Calder Cup playoff scoring. Now, let's talk about the stats for the Milwaukee Admirals, since I just mentioned Evangelista and Glass, each with 8 points. Evangelista's breakdown goes as 3 goals and 5 assists, and Gross has 2 goals and 6 assists, each for 8 points. Sherwood had 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points. Delgaizo 2 and 3 for 5. Sanford 2 and 3 for 5. Afanasiev 0 goals but 4 assists for 4 points. And then you'll find Kemmel, Jankowski, McEwen, and Schneider all at 3 points. Askarov, through 7 games of the Calder Cup playoffs, has a record of 4 and 3. He stopped 171 out of 188 shots against. He has a save percentage of .910, a goals against average of .240. Now listen, save percentage is comparable to his .911 in the regular season, but out of goaltenders qualifying right now in Calder Cup statistics, he is 13th in save percentage and 9th overall in goals against average, and the 2.40 goals against average is actually an improvement over his regular season numbers. Now, flipping over to the other side of the matchup and talking about goaltending, Murray at this point in the playoffs for the Texas Stars has a record of 4-1. He's stuck 143 at 154, a save percentage of .929, which is 4th best in the Calder Cup playoffs. If you go back and you look at his regular season statistics, a .911 save percentage for the regular season, so playing well above where he was in the regular season, and the 2.21 goals against average is 6th best in the Calder Cup playoffs, and compared to his regular season numbers, that is improved from 2.31. So Murray is having a very good playoff run so far, as well as the rest of the Texas Stars. Gardner leads the Texas Stars in scoring with 4 goals and 3 assists for 7 points. Kamano at 2 and 2 for 4. Studenic 2 and 2 for 4. Back 1 and 3 for 4. And Barber, who led the team in scoring in the regular season, 32 goals and 32 assists for 64 points, is currently only at 2 goals and 1 assist for 3 points. So the Milwaukee Admirals have done a good job of keeping Barber contained, but they have not done the best job of being able to put their own goals in this series. We're going to talk about that. We've got a whole lot to break down. We've got the Rebirth Sports full game recap. This gets you all set up for Game 3. Now let's go back and talk about everything that happened in Game 2. It is called the Rebirth Sports full game recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
Now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to May 13th of the year 2023 when the Milwaukee Admirals were hosting the Texas Stars in Game 2 of the Central Division Finals Best of 5 series in the Calder Cup playoffs. Carl Taylor declares his participants at forward to be the following. At center tonight, you'll find Sanford, Jankowski, Huntington, and McCarron. Over on right wing, you'll find Tomasino, Evangelista, Kemmel, and Angelo. On left wing, you will find Schneider, Leonard, Afanasiev, and Rushev. Your defensemen participating in this game tonight for the Milwaukee Admirals will be Gross, Delgaizo, Wilsby, McEwen, Stastny, and Thompson. And, of course, in net, as he has started every single game and played every minute so far of the playoffs for the Milwaukee Admirals, Yaroslav Skarov. 14 seconds into Game 2 with the Milwaukee Admirals leading series 1-0. It is Murray coming with a save on Phil Tomasino, the first shot on goal of the game at 31 seconds of the first period, though. It's Angelo off to the box. 2 minutes for boarding. We'd find Skarov going to work with a save on Blumel, and then Skarov coming up with another save on Barber. At 3:04 of the first period, Murray would come up with a save on McEwen with traffic at 4:25 of the first period. Barber would be off to the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. Murray would come up with a save on Schneider. It would be a decent PK by the Stars. They were keeping it all to the outside, mostly long shots, not a lot of traffic in front of Murray. That's when at 7:23, we find McKenzie from Texas scoring his second goal of the playoffs, putting the Texas Stars ahead of the Milwaukee Admirals 1-0. It was a wrist shot off of the rush. Everybody seemed to hesitate for just a moment, thinking the play was offsides. This is not something challengeable, nor is it reviewable, and it was not called offsides, but I have eyes, and I saw the play, and it was, frankly, offsides. Definitely something worth taking a look at. If you had the capability of taking a look at, they would have done so. Texas, though, is on the board. Controversial goal or not. 1-0 now ahead of the Milwaukee Admirals at 10:27 of the first period. Murray comes up with a save on Stastny. 11:12. Murray comes up with another save on Delgaizo. 13:23. A save on Evangelista. The Admirals starting to make their first push of the game at 16:06. Murray still working, coming with a save on Thompson. 17:04. Murray comes with a save on Delgaizo's deflection at the top of the crease. And the Admirals are controlling the game at this point, but they are not getting rebound opportunities, not getting second chance opportunities, and frankly, they're not getting into the interior of the structure of the Texas Stars. That's why Murray seems to be making saves on defensemen virtually nonstop here during this stretch of hockey. 17:40 the first period. Jankowski and Gardner are jousting out in the neutral zone. They'll each sit for 2 minutes. We'll have a 4-on-4 scenario. That's when Skarov comes up with a save on Gleason. That was the first shot on goal for the Texas Stars in 9 minutes of this period. We hit the end of the first period, and it's not a surprise to find out that Texas doesn't have very many shots on goal at all after what I just told you. Milwaukee has 11. Texas has 7, but Texas did score on 1 of those 7. We're 18 seconds into the second period, and before you can even make the first notation, Petrovic has Texas up 2-0. It was his first goal of the playoffs. It was a wrist shot from out high. Lots of traffic, a very, very tough puck to track and to see. Skarov didn't have a chance on this one right here. 2-0 in favor of the Texas Stars. 2:02 into the second period. It's Murray coming in with a save on Wilsby. 5:36. Wilsby's back again with another shot, and Murray another save. 6:39 the second period. Skarov comes up with a huge kick-out save on Studenik at 7:21. Murray cut with a save on Rushev. More jam starting to appear for the Milwaukee Admirals. They are starting to slowly crack the interior of the Texas Stars, but still not getting quite enough. 10:24. Murray comes up with a save on Leonard. Easy because it came from long range and it had absolutely no traffic in front. 11:14 of the second period. Barber is off the box. 2 minutes for hooking took place in the neutral zone. It's going to be Murray coming with a save on Kemmel and Evangelista's follow-up jam. Murray comes with another save on Kemmel, and then it's Delgaizo cashing in. Intense pressure. Delgaizo finally cracks with his second goal of the playoffs. It was a shot from the blue line. Good traffic in front. It was the 10th shot on goal of the period for the Milwaukee Admirals, cutting the Texas Stars lead in half. Now Texas still maintains a 2-1 lead, but Milwaukee on the board with the power plays we've done so many times in this playoffs, and they are gaining some momentum. At 15:09 of the second period, Skarov comes with a save on Damiani. At 16:55, Skarov a save on Studenko. 19:16, Skarov another save on Grushnikov. At 19:36, though, Barber is off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Kemmel. This is going to give the Admirals a great opportunity down by 1 in the power play. Murray comes up with a save on Kemmel, who drew and earned the power play for the Admirals. With the end of the second period with power play in progress, Milwaukee out shooting Texas 24-13 after 40 minutes. The carryover of 1 minute and 36 seconds of the power play into the third period. Unfortunately for the Milwaukee Admirals, even with the clean sheet, they struggled to set up, struggled to get the puck into the zone even, and it is a strong strong PK effort by the Texas Stars. We go to 2:22 in the third period, and it's Askarov coming with a save on Blumel. Murray about to clock in and do some work at 4:30, coming with a save on McEwen at 6 minutes of the third, coming up with a save on McCarron with his in-close range jam. 6:44, Murray another save on Sanford, this time off of the rush. It would be 8:09 of the third period before Askarov would get tested again with a save on Blumel. We go to the back of the sheet, and at 8:24 of the third period, we find Shea off the box. 2 minutes for Puck over the glass, and at this point in time, that's when we see Back scoring a shorthanded goal for the Texas Stars, and it was easy. It was a tuck-in after every single player on the Milwaukee Admirals seemed to make multiple mistakes. Askarov got himself a little bit too far out of the crease, allowing the tuck-in, but everybody on the ice, from the turnover all the way down the ice, to not preventing the rush, to not backing up, to not stopping in the right position, to frankly doing every single thing you could possibly do wrong. Every player that was on the ice for the Admirals at this moment was out of position and doing the wrong thing. So it is impossible to blame the goaltender or one single player. This was a team-wide cluster fuck, and there is nothing more you can say about it. That's what led to this shorthanded goal with absolute ease. 3-1 now in favor of the Texas Stars. Murray comes up with a save on Sanford, and then at 13:08 in the third period, Murray comes up with a save on Leonard on the doorstep. Tomasino with the really good feed right here at 14:28 of the third period. McEwen comes up with his first goal of the playoffs. It was a tap in at the empty net after Luke Evangelista's incredible setup freezes everybody on the ice except for McEwen, who's waiting for it and then puts the puck into the net. Texas leads 3-2, but at 15:37, it's McEwen again, his second goal of the playoffs. This time it was a long shot that deflected off of the D from out high, and the traffic in front kept Murray from seeing it. We have a tie game at 3 apiece. We have brand new hockey at 15:37 of the third period. That's when we're going to see timeout by the Texas Stars. But as it seems that the Admirals are gaining momentum and we are just ticking off the moments towards overtime, 17:23, Angelo is going to pick up another third period penalty, 2 minutes for high sticking. It's going to be Bork capitalizing almost immediately. It was a clean face-off win, and the wrist shot deflected off of the D near the crease area. First goal of the playoffs for Bork gives Texas a 4-3 lead at 19:35. Gardner, empty netter, his fourth of the playoffs, gives Texas a 5-3 lead at 19:35 of the third period. Jankowski's off to the box, 2 minutes for stuff. That's going to be your final. Texas wins this game 5-3 in Milwaukee, evening up the series, even though the Admirals outshoot the Texas Stars 37-21 in less than 24 hours of hockey. In less than 24 hours of real time, we've completed 2 games in this series of hockey. We are tied at 1 apiece, and now we're faced with a best of 3. All 3 of those games will take place in Texas, the home arena of the Stars. It is going to be a very tough hill for the Milwaukee Admirals to climb. 1-3 in Texas this year during the regular season, and not very pretty. They lost 5-4. They lost 5-0. Then they went on to lose 5-3 before finally winning their last game. So at least their last memory of playing in Texas was a 3-2 victory in that game. But it was Cooley who got the victory for Milwaukee, making 35 saves in that game. So the Admirals 1-3 in Texas this year, and they're going to have to go down there and try to win 2 out of the next 3. We'll talk about that, how they're going to do it, and all of the analysis that comes along with Game 2 and the rest of this series. We've got so much more to talk about. That was only the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Keep it tuned right here to the Renegades of Puck podcast. We'll be back with analysis, Brian Baston, the box score stats, and so much more back after these messages.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Yaroslav Askarov in this game, 16 out of 20. Overall, not his best game, but you know what? He was not the problem in this game. He was definitely a part of the shorthanded goal cluster that we talked about already during the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Seriously, it wasn't his best game, but the team in front of him was not up to the task that they were up to in game one. There were more mistakes being made around the crease area. There were shots being deflected in, and frankly, everybody paused for just a second on what seemed to be an offsides play that didn't end up being an offsides play. So everybody kind of screwed up in this game a little bit. But for Askarov, not his best effort overall. And what I think this is going to lead to now overall in the series, he's 4-3 in the playoffs, 171 to 188, and 910 save percentage, 2.40 goals against average. None of these numbers are really popping off of the page. He's a rookie netminder. Let's all stop, pause, and remember that. So while there are very high expectations and we are all enjoying the ride, he is still a rookie netminder, and right now his numbers, frankly, aren't quite as good as some might be hoping. That's why I made the notation, and well, it's fairly obvious. With the team only winning one time in Texas this year in the regular season and having to go to Texas to win 2 out of the next 3, Yaroslav Askarov is going to have to steal one of those games. Maybe it's game 3, maybe it's game 5 at the end of the series. But no matter what, Askarov is going to have to steal at least one of these games in Texas if the Milwaukee Admirals hope to come out on top. But again, not his worst game, but simply just not his best game. He certainly didn't do anything above and beyond in this game to help his team win. And just being part of that shorthanded goal again, it's just absolutely brutal. Now, let me talk about something good that happened in this game. McEwen, 2 goals on 4 shots on net and just prod the jam all night long. He scores his 1 goal off of the Evangelista feed, probably one of the easiest goals he'll ever score in his entire hockey career, from right there on top of the blue paint, taps it into the empty net. Evangelista did all the work, froze all of the D, including the goaltender, and then just went ahead and passed it over to McEwen. But then McEwen's shot from out high deflects, goes through traffic. Nice job right there. McEwen brings the Admirals back in the third period with 2 goals, the only 2 goals that he has so far in the playoffs. Incredible effort. He brought the jam. He was highly noticeable, and his 4 shots on goal also tied for the team lead, something I'm going to talk about here more in a moment. Del Gaizo out there on the blue line as well. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in this game, 3 shots on goal. Overall, solid. His goal also comes from far out from the blue line, just wheeled and threw the puck towards the net. Didn't really have any other play, didn't really have any other opportunity. And they always say, throw it on net. Sometimes good things can work out. In this opportunity, there was good traffic out there, and it helped to get the puck in the net. So a goal and assist, 2 points for Del Gaizo. Again, 3 shots on goal. So McEwen, Del Gaizo account for the 3 goals for the Milwaukee Admirals. As a matter of fact, the defense accounted for all of the goals and also add an assist to that for 4 points in this game and generated 14 of the team's 37 shots on goal. Now listen, that's good. It's good to get 3 goals from your defense. It's good to get 14 shots on goal from your defense, but not when that is the entirety of your offensive output for the entire evening. So the question that follows up with that is, where were the forwards in this game? Why was there such a lack of productivity by the forward groupings in this game? Why were they not able to get to rebounds and secondary chances seeming until near the end of the third period on home ice when they had the opportunity to set the matchups? They were unable to crack the Texas Stars' defensive structure for the majority of this game and get to the interior, and those shots that come from long range just played right into Texas's game plan and allowed Murray to have, frankly, a high shot volume night. But let's face it, it was a low work night and not all that stressful, not like it should have been. And I have to absolutely single out one player for questioning again in this round. And I hate to have to do this again. I didn't like having to do it in the first round, but facts are facts. Philip Tomasino is occupying a top 6 position at forward, and he has a lot of NHL experience at this point in his career. He is a solid player, and I thought that he would be primed for a long career in the NHL and possibly a role in leadership. But right now, whatever's happening with him, 1 point in 7 games is frankly not good enough. It is not good enough. I went through it in the first round when he was unable to generate any points. Now, Philip Tomasino at this point in the playoffs should be leading, should be dominating. He's had opportunities to step up, and he's frankly not doing it, and he looks invisible for large stretches of hockey out there. I expect much more from Philip Tomasino, and over the next couple of games, he has every opportunity to step up his performance and help lead the Milwaukee Admirals past the Texas Stars and help them get into the conference finals. But the Milwaukee Admirals, without Philip Tomasino, without the forwards bringing the jam, bringing the effort, getting to the inside and the interior, getting those rebounds and secondary chances, the Milwaukee Admirals are not going to be able to get pucks by Murray. They're just simply not going to be able to do it. And one of the reasons that the forwards had such difficulty in this game, I think, is the missing factor of Sherwood. He brings a lot of jam. He also brings leadership, his physical play, his relentless forecheck, his dogged approach towards playing, almost bordering on reckless at times. Sherwood inspires his line mates and his teammates and the bench, and he is a lead-by-example type of guy. And with Sherwood out of the lineup in this game injured, they were missing the jam, and it took the Milwaukee Admirals quite a bit of time to kind of recover and bring some jam, but they never really brought the Sherwood factor to this game. And that's unfortunate because if Sherwood is not going to be able to go in Game 3, then the Milwaukee Admirals are definitely going to have to find some type of substitute for the Sherwood factor, and it's going to be very difficult because he is truly a unique player. He runs on a high motor, and he never stops bringing the jam, and he is the epitome and the essence of no half-step, and enjoyed watching and covering him here at the NHL level for the Nashville Predators, and he's been absolutely outstanding for the Milwaukee Admirals. I'm talking about the physical play, the energy, and the effort that he brings to the game, and I'm not even mentioning that throughout the playoffs at this point in time, Sherwood has 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points and is second overall on the Milwaukee Admirals. So he is the total package in these Calder Cup playoffs for the Milwaukee Admirals, and missing him is definitely noticeable at this point. And just one more point I really need to make here. Angelo has taken bad penalties. There have been bad penalties by a couple of players now, but my God, standing out in sweet hockey Jesus, Angelo's penalties in the third period in games 1 and 2, it has to be cleaned up. The team has to have talk about this. High-sticking penalties back-to-back nights in the third period. In game 1, when the Admirals were ahead by 1 in this game, when the game was tied. Last night, it did not cost the team in game 1. Tonight in game 2, it did cost the team. They have got to clean up those bad penalties, especially late in games. After that 2-goal comeback, they had a chance maybe to force OT. Who knows what happens at that point? But once Angelo took that penalty, the Admirals were already running on fumes. They give up the clean face-off loss, and the puck's in the back of the net off of a quick deflection. So it can't happen. Angelo and the rest of the Admirals have to clean that up going into Game 3. I'll talk about going into Game 3 a little bit more before we wrap up the show. But for now, we got to get the next break in right here. We got to get you the box score. We got to get you the analytics, Brian Baston, and so much more right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We sure do appreciate you. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score, Roland McEwen, 2 goals that led the Milwaukee Admirals in this game. Mark Delgado also had a goal. When it comes to assists, Delgado had an assist. Evangelista had an assist. Zach Sanford had 2 assists in this game. And Igor Afanasiev had an assist in this game. When it comes to shots on goal, it was Roland McEwen with 4. Also, Adam Wilsby with 4. I think Wilsby might have had 7 or 8 shot attempts at the net in this game. Again, the D largely was the area area that was available for taking shots. The Texas Stars did a good job of keeping everything to the outside and keeping it for long range. And for quite a bit of this game, it worked, except for the Delgado goal and one of the McEwen goals that both came from out near the blue line, almost in the same exact area, as a matter of fact. But keeping it to the outside kept the Milwaukee Admirals from scoring enough goals to be able to prevail in Game 2 when it comes to Askarov in net 16 out of 20. We've talked about it, not his best overall game for the series now. Askarov 171 out of 188. Couple other stats to throw at you. Shots on goal for this game. It's the second game in a row where the Admirals atop the Stars 37-21 in this game. For the series now through 2 games, 70 shots on goal for the Admirals, 48 for the Texas Stars. When it comes to special teams, so critical and important to this Admirals team. The Admirals now on the power play through 2 games. They were 1 for 4 in Game 2, 2 for 4 in Game 1. So 3 out of 8 in the series. And the Texas Stars are 1 out of 6 after going 0 for 3 in Game 1, 1 for 3 in Game 2. So the Texas Stars are able to pick up a power play goal, a shorthanded goal, a goal that seemed to be offsides, an empty net goal. The Texas Stars did what they had to do to even up the series and showed why they were going to punch back tonight. It was obvious that they were going to punch back in Game 2. That's exactly what they came out and did. The Admirals did not help themselves out in a couple of those situations tonight, but it was the Texas Stars who ultimately took care of the job that they had to take care of on the road. And now the Texas Stars are 4-1 after taking their first punch in Game 1 of the series. They respond. That's going to do it for the box score, but that's not going to do it for the numbers, because we've got Brian Baston here, and he's got the numbers you need to know, the charts you need to see. He runs the Renegade Analytics Desk from ontheforecheck.com. He's the one and only Brian Baston. He's here to bring the jam.
Despite falling behind 3-1 entering the final 10 minutes of Game 2 of the Central Division Finals, Roland McCown scored 2 goals in just over a minute to tie the game at 3 with 5 minutes left. However, despite Milwaukee leading the overall shot count 37-21 and outshooting the Texas Stars by at least 4 in every period, the Ads could not finish the effort, giving up a goal to Maverick Bork with under 3 minutes and a Rhett Gardner empty netter as the Central Division Finals head to Texas for the remaining games, with the series tied at 1. Now, with the Admirals leading the shot count, you might expect the scores to be reversed. Surely, since Milwaukee outshot the Stars every period and overall, they had more goals, right? Not really, but guess what? You can rejoice, Renegades, because we're back to talking about one of my favorite things, and that's shot quality in tonight's One Big Stat. Now, let's look at 2 opposite kind of shots in tonight's game. First, we're going to look at those shots between the circles, and shots from this area are almost always usually high-danger chances. So how did the teams compare? Well, you might be pleasantly surprised. The Admirals had 7 shots between the circles, which made up about 19% of all of their shots. And the Stars, on the other hand, had just 3 shots between the circles, but that was still 14% of all of their shots. What was the main difference? Well, Texas scored on 2 out of their 3 shots between that area. Milwaukee didn't have any goals. But still, 7 high-danger shots is actually a pretty good, versus 3 for Texas, even if they couldn't score. And, well, but those with the good, high-quality shots. Now let's look at the bad. Let's start with the Stars. They had 7 shots from above the circles. Again, these types of shots are almost always evaluated as low-danger shots. Those 7 shots represented a third of Texas' 21 shots overall, but like the shots between the circles, Texas picked up 2 goals from distance, including the final empty netter. Now, the Admirals. Well, and this may be the stat of the game for me, Milwaukee took 16 shots from beyond the circles, just over 42% of all of their shots. And yes, 2 of their goals did come from that area, but Milwaukee couldn't capitalize with the puck when they had it, resorting too often for throwaway shots from distance. That give the final 37-21 shot count a little more context. The Admirals now have to win 2 of 3 games at Texas to move on to the conference finals, and Texas was the AHL's highest scoring team this regular season, so Milwaukee has to make their shots count on their playoff run could be over very soon. And that's tonight's One Big Stat. Charlie?
Thank you so much, Brian. Sure to appreciate you. Thank you for filing that update from the Renegade Analytics Desk. Game 2 is wrapped up, and it was the Texas Stars that were able to secure the victory, evening up the series. Now we head on to Game 3, and I made the note immediately after the game, with rest comes renewed energy and renewed focus. Now, these Games 1 and Game 2 being back-to-back, being less than 24 hours apart, was very difficult for both of these teams to play. Took a lot of effort, took a lot of energy, and let's face it, to defeat the Texas Stars, you have to put up a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And last night in Game 1, the Milwaukee Admirals did just that, especially when it came to that third period defensive efforts. We chronicled so much on the previous episode. So the Milwaukee Admirals not having a chance to recover, not having a chance to rest coming into this game seemed like just the tiny little bit of energy that they were lacking, the little bit of fuel that they were down, and the fumes that they ended up being on by the end of this game. It seemed like that was definitely a factor and a difference maker. The Texas Stars had only played 3 games in the first round, so this was only their 5th game of the playoffs, while the Milwaukee Admirals are into their 7th game after a 5-game series, a grueling 5-game series with multiple overtime games against the Manitoba Moose. Now, the Admirals, I believe, will get their legs back under them. Now, the Sherwood injury is definitely a curiosity. Sherwood getting back in the lineup would definitely help. We'll update you on that as soon as we get some information, so stay tuned to our social media platforms for that update. But I think the Admirals are going to regain their composure, get their energy, and get their focus back. And Askarov's going to have to steal one for them down there in Texas. But with renewed focus and renewed energy is going to come a new level of jam. In the essence of no half-stepping at this time of the year, it is tough to keep going for a full 60 minutes game after game after game. And I'm just saying the back-to-back, I think, affected the Milwaukee Admirals more than it affected the Texas Stars. And we'll see what happens going forward in Game 3 and now Game 4 that is on the schedule. So Wednesday, Game 3. Game 4 will be on Friday. Game 5, if necessary, would take place on Sunday. And the final notation I made is that it takes a lot. It takes a lot to beat the Texas Stars. And Milwaukee Admirals put in a hell of an effort in Game 1 to take the 1-0 lead in this series, and they came very close to being able to duplicate it. A couple of mistakes, perhaps a tiny bit of a lack of energy and a little bit of fuel there towards the end of the game. But with a renewed focus, renewed energy, I believe the Milwaukee Admirals are going to make a hell of a series out of this down in Texas. Whoever wins 2 out of 3 is going to advance to the conference final, probably to take on Coachella the way that they're playing, the way they have 4 of the top 5 scorers in the entire Calder Cup tournament, the best goaltender in the Calder Cup tournament. So the West is delivering the goods so far. Both of those series tied at 1 apiece, while over in the East, both of those series are at 2-0. That's going to do it for operation number 760. Very much looking forward to talking Milwaukee Admirals and Texas Stars Game 3 and the rest of the Calder Cup playoff bracket. It's been a blast, and we sure have been rewarded for our efforts here in the trenches and in the bunker, and we sure do appreciate each and every one of you who has clicked on the show, listened to the show, given us a follow, given us a like, a subscription. We are seeing an uptick in all of our statistical metrics, and we're starting to reach some significant milestones. We could not do that without each and every one of you out there watching and listening. So from me, the Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier, I just wanted to tell you I appreciate your time. I appreciate your listenership. And the most important thing is I appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect, my good Renegades.